Hey guys, how you doing? Welcome to our feature walkthrough of the Venture FJ Cruiser from HPI. This is pole position RC, and basically what we're going to do is basically just run down absolutely everything there is to know about the Venture as we know it so far, as it's just come out of the box. If you've missed the unboxing, which is basically just pulling this out of the box and seeing what else is in the box, you can check that out. It's earlier in the playlist, or check out the other uploaded videos on the channel. So first of all, we've got the licensed replica FJ Cruiser body from Toyota. So you can see it's got the proper Toyota badging. It's got the headlights and the taillights, all the markings and everything. So it looks just like a real FJ Cruiser. Even the iconic 3 windshield wipers. It's got the light decal for the side mirrors. Smoked windows, which is really cool. I do like that touch. HPI's pretty good at having that the smoke decal detailing. It's really cool. You got the little bump here even for the well, whatever that is. I assume it's for a radio reception or whatever. And this is basically a scale representation of the optional roof rack. So that's really cool. Now let me just undo the swing away tailgate. There is a body clip here that you can use. Well, it's fitted with it normally, so just a small body clip. The normal body clips, which I've already taken off, of course, they are this size, and that's the one for the tailgate. So basically, to remove that, you just lift up, and lift up quite a ways actually, because it clips on here. You might not be able to see it, but you can just see it there. And there's this little tongue that fits inside that latch, and that holds the rear of the body in place. So that's really, really cool. Okay, so we're going to take that off, and just real quick, we're just going to look at the inside of the body underneath. Of course, it comes pre-painted. Pretty sure they're going to offer clear versions as well, so that'll be really nice. Now, the side mirrors are held in place by this plastic clips, which have 2 screws going through them. And if you've been paying attention on the Venture Facebook page, you can actually fit like a 5mm light in there. I imagine you just peel this up. This is a sticker, and then just run the wires through the posts there, and maybe just drill a bigger hole into that there. So that's pretty cool. The roof rack is held in place with not just 6 small body pins, but there's also O-rings there, which hold it on in place. And that rear body clip is there's 2 screws that hold that, and so that is nice and secure in there with that hard plastic insert that's holding the back side of the clip in place. And you can see that the outside of the body is painted. That's how you get that matte effect. Of course, these are stickers on the outside, and yeah, overall looks really, really nice. Of course, you know, people are going to be fitting their own bodies on there, but I think this is quite a cool, you know, I mean, I don't think anyone is going to begrudge or really hate having the FJ Cruiser body on there, unless you just absolutely hate Toyotas. And, you know, I don't know, I'm not going to get into the whole brand love-hate thing, but, you know, it's a cool looking body, no matter what. Okay, so now that we've looked at the body in detail, we're going to have a look at every feature that's on the chassis, and hopefully I nail every single one. So first of all, we've got the formed steel C-shaped chassis rails. Now, as you can see, you might get a better look here. It is wider in the middle, and then it kind of tapers down at the ends, which I think is that's pretty cool. Now, of course, being steel, they're nice and strong, and they use a lot less material than solid aluminum chassis rails, so probably saves quite a bit of weight there. So that's pretty handy. Now the bumpers, obviously we've got a bumper at each end. The front bumper here has inserts for lights if you want to add lights in there. A nice wide mount here for adding a winch, and you can even remove the brush guard and fill in the blanks, fill in the holes with some bumper blanks, so it's a nice smooth surface. You got D-ring shackles, 2 at each end. like so, as you can see. And there's also each end you can vary how far in or out the bumper is pushed using this here, these posts, which are basically like body posts like you'd find on most RC cars. Now these are the short body posts or bumper posts, and these are the long bumper posts, so you can swap and change those depending on the body that you're using. And again, if you do want to, you can remove the entire rear bumper, and there's a brace, a cross piece that goes across there, and basically is just this piece without the holes for the posts. So that's pretty cool. Now looking at the drivetrain, it starts off with a 35-turn crawler spec motor from HPI. So nice, and plenty of torque. It's a sealed silver can motor, just a basic motor. Uses bullet connectors here to connect it to the speed controller, which we'll get to in a few minutes. And that spins, obviously, a pinion gear inside here, which turns gears which are from the Savage XS monster truck from HPI. So very strong. Of course, that thing can handle 3S power all day long and do like 65 miles an hour. So it's really, really strong. And there are also different gears available already that you can just order right now. And I'm not sure. I would think that it's the high speed, but of course it's going to be in the manual, so check the manual. I'll list that in the commentary down below in the description. Now you can take this cover off to access the pinion gear very easily, so it's quite handy. And then down here we've got at the bottom of the transmission, we've got the output shaft, which has a externally adjustable slipper clutch, and we have seen that you can swap the slipper clutch for a spool, so just for extra power and removing one more thing that can possibly go wrong or be adjusted or whatever. Now we have a steel output cup to a steel shaft to another steel input cup into the center transfer case. So as you can see, that is truly centrally located. It lets the drive shafts be right in the middle of the chassis and straight into the middle of both axles. You can see that transfer case lets the drive shafts be nice and low for fairly direct power transfer. And those drive shafts, by the way, are plastic. There are metal universal pieces at both ends, and they are nicely laser engraved with HPI logos. So that's quite cool. And these are nice and slidey drive shafts. So as you can, if you watch here, you can see the gap lower and get back to its normal position. That drive shaft probably goes down to about here. So it's a nice long drive shaft. And we have the metal universal sections at the opposite end, and of course metal gears inside. We're going to tear apart one of these axles in a upcoming video, so be sure and stay tuned for that in the playlist. And let's see, what else we got here. We've got for the axles we were just talking about. These have a really small diff case or pumpkin for pretty good ground clearance. Lock differentials, of course. As you can see, if I turn one wheel, all the wheels will turn. And the 12 mil aluminum locking hex clamp hubs that hold these in place. And you see there's a cool little hubcap here that covers up the wheel nut. Now, let's see, for the steering duties is a SS20R HPI steering servo. The WR means water resistant, so it's not waterproof. It's very difficult to waterproof a servo, but I'm sure HPI does the best job that they can. Obviously, this is not the highest spec servo that you can get, but it is a standard size servo, so you can put in any servo that you want inside there. So it's pretty good. I think it's a 6 kilo servo, and if I can, let me just rack my brain. 6 kilos is 90 ounce-inches of torque. So again, it's not the most powerful, but it is plenty good for, if this is your first crawler truck. for example. And apparently that is the same exact servo that's been used in all the Venture videos that HPI has posted so far. So obviously it's good enough for most people. So, but very easy to upgrade. And you can see that we've got a servo there is a cam type servo saver inside there. I'm not sure if there's enough light that you can see in there, but it's a plastic servo horn connecting to a steel rod, which connects to stamped aluminum steering arms on the arms, and this arm connects to this arm with this steel drag link. So that's pretty good. And you can see that I haven't even mentioned that there's a chassis mounted servo, so obviously it's right up there, and also the weight of the servo helps the motor keep that weight as far forward as possible. What maybe remember that is that this is also a behind the axle steering system, so it's BTA and also a CMS, chassis mounted servo. So BTA is behind the axle, so there's no linkage here that might get caught up on a rock or a root or whatever you might be climbing over. So there's as much clearance as possible to let the tires touch the ground. So that's really, really good. Also here we've got an aluminum mount, cast aluminum mount, that connects a panhard bar to this here. And the panhard bar, basically, that's just old sort of straight axle truck technology that allows the wheels to stay pointed where you want them to be pointed when the suspension is compressed. If that wasn't there, it would be pointing, I don't know where it would go. It would probably point out. But anyway, it's someone who knows trucks can comment on that better than I can. But basically, that's there to just help the steering stay pointed where you want it to go. And there's a 3-link suspension up front. There's 1 link, there's 2 links, and there's a 3rd link there. Okay, cast aluminum diff covers on the axles, so those look really cool. And from my eyes, very easy to paint. So I'm going to paint mine like a nice bright orange or something like that. Look really cool. Hopefully it'll stay, and as it gets chipped up, it just looks a little bit cooler as well, doesn't it? At the back, the axle's pretty much exactly the same. We have the cast aluminum shock mounts. Just one position on the shocks, but they do clamp the axles very nicely. And then, of course, they become the suspension link mounts. Now, finally, on the steering, it is a 0 Ackerman steering, so as much as one wheel turns, the other wheel will turn the same angle. So, back to the suspension. We've got a 3-link front end and a 3-link back end, and you can easily swap this for a 4-link suspension if you really want to at the back. So it's pretty handy. The shocks are dual stage shocks. So you have the top bit here is the softer spring, so that will compress first, and then, that bottom spring is the stiffer spring, so that will compress second. So it basically provides just a bit more supple ride. So it's nice and smooth driving. You have a threaded aluminum shock bodies. Filled with the equivalent of 30-weight silicone shock oil. So if you do want to rebuild those, 30-weight oil, or try 35, 40, whatever. And you'll notice that there are different shock mounts. So you can go one shorter in the front, and there's 2 shorter ones in the rear. So you can basically shorten the wheelbase quite a bit. I think the wheelbase is 12.3 inches or 311 millimeters. So that's one of the longer wheelbases. I think 12.1 or something like that is where a lot of wheelbases are. But so very easy to shorten. Okay, and on those shock mounts, we've got the body posts. Of course, these are fully adjustable up and down. So you've got the front body posts just held in place with a body pin, and at the back you can change these. This is the sort of the SUV mount, so you can basically take these off but with the pin, and there's a screw there that holds on that and a pin that holds on that, and you can take off this nice solid bracing and just put this post directly in there. And you know, if you have, say, a pickup truck or one of those shortened cab only type bodies. Now, on the tires and wheels, these are beadlock style wheels. They're not actual beadlock wheels, but they do look really, really nice, I think. They're one of my favorite stock wheel designs that HPI's come out with. And the tires look really cool, too. These are what they call the Rockthorn tires. Nice and solid tread, very chunky, so these flat pieces will let it drive fairly well on hard pavement. And as we've seen in the videos that the Venture Facebook page has put out, it does really well on dirt and mud as well. And we've got, as I said before, we've got the hubcap, the center hubcap here, which nicely hides the wheel nut, so it's pretty cool. And of course, this is glued on, so but 12 mil hexes, so these are very easy to swap out if you really want to. Now inside here, we've got the 2.4 gigahertz 3-channel RF40 WP speed controller. WP means waterproof, so yes, it is a waterproof speed controller, and that's inside a nicely enclosed box there. Maybe a little bit too small to fit one of the winch controllers or like a light controller, but with some conformal coating or silicone or a balloon or something like that, it's easy enough to waterproof those. Now, speaking of waterproof, we've got the crawler spec Speedo here, which is the SC3SWP3. So the 3S obviously means SC, first of all, is speed controller. 3S is 3S compatible. WP is waterproof. And 3 must mean something along the lines of it's the third version. Of course, it is waterproof, 2S or 3S LiPo, it says right there, and 5.5 to 9 cell nickel metal hydride. Of course, as I said before, it does come with a 6 cell nickel metal hydride pack, and this standard white plug is easy enough to swap out for a Dean's or whatever battery plug you like to use. Nice external switch there, and we've got the drag brake settings, which are externally adjustable, and the LiPo and nickel metal hydride battery choices are also externally adjustable. So very easy to change those, just don't lose these jumpers. You can choose between 80% drag brake, 100% drag brake, or just off if you're going to be driving, say, on a road or something like that if you wanted. So let's see, what else is there? Of course, we've got the radio. Standard TF40 radio from HPI. Nice to see these back. TF40, so it's got endpoint adjustments, left and right steering and throttle, low to high. Dual rate, which is always really nice. That's just going to be set to max on a crawler, isn't it? And you got the servo reversing there. Third channel button, very easy to bind. It's also got an electronic failsafe, which is very handy. And that is about it, I think. Full set of ball bearings, let's not forget that. And like I said before, it does come with a 2000 milliamp nickel metal hydride standard white plug 6-cell battery and 4 AA HPI plasma alkalines. Whew, okay. So what else is there? 20.7 inches long, 527 millimeters, 9 inches wide, so pretty wide, but you know, it's within the scale size. Height will obviously vary depending on the body that you use, but with the standard body it's 9.4 inches or 238 millimeters high. Wheelbase, as I said before, is 311 millimeters or 12.3 inches, and the front overhang is 3.9 inches and 5.3 inches at the back. No one cares about the overhang, do they? Running weight 2.4 kilos or 5.3 pounds. And everything else you can look at on the HPI website, because it's getting pretty long already. So anyway, hopefully you found that informative. In the next video, we're going to go over what are all these plastic parts that come with the Venture, huh? So we're going to have a look at those and get back to you. So anyway, hopefully you enjoyed this video. If you did, please give us a thumbs up. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button. I think it's over there. And check out the rest of the playlist. If you know, follow along and follow us on our venture journey. Okay, so that is it from me, from polepositionrc.com. Please check out the rest of the channel, and we'll see you in the next video. Thanks very much for watching.